Hey fam, welcome back. I know it's been a minute here. That's because I'm currently preparing for my exams. However, I'm going to be back very soon. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my authentic okra soup recipe. Some of you guys have asked me to share this recipe. Some of you have sent DM, so that's what we are doing today. Let's dive right into it. These are the ingredients we'll be using for our okra soup. I'm using a combination of goat's meat and cow beef. I'll also be using some stockfish. I'll be using palm oil. I'll also be using onions. I'll be using some Scotch bonnet pepper. I'm using the yellow one because of the fragrance. I'll also be using some grounded crayfish, some king prawn. I'll also be using some cow skin, aka ponmon. I'll use some panla fish. You can use any type of fish you want. I'll also be using some shrimp, some periwinkle, and of course we'll be using our okra. So first things first, to start, I am going to be chopping my okra. I'll be chopping some of this and I'll also be blending some of this. The reason I am blending it is because I kind of prefer my okra soup to be a little bit slimy than regular. If you don't like it to be slimy, you don't have to blend it, but this is just how I prefer mine to be. So I'm just going to chop some of this and I'll also be blending some of this. So like I said, I'm also going to be blending some of the okra. All I just have to do is add a little bit of water and just blend. You don't have to add any other thing. You don't have to make it fancy. After blending my okra, I'm just going to set that aside and I'll start by cooking my meat. First things first, I'm going to be adding some of my onions. I'm also going to be adding some salt and some seasoning cube. Guys, please, you do not need curry for this recipe. I typically don't use curry for any recipe that requires oil because it just doesn't taste nice, really. And if you like it, that's fine, but I wouldn't recommend it basically. So I'm just going to add my salt, my seasoning cube, and I'll just stir for a bit. Allow to sit in the pot for about 5 minutes before adding any other thing to it. After about 5 minutes, I'm going to be adding my stockfish. I'm also going to be adding my ponmon, and this is because I just like cooking everything together. I know some people tend to cook these things very separately, but I don't have that time. I just want to get over with it. If you prefer it cooked separately, you can do it by all means. I'm just going to cook that until thoroughly cooked, until I know that my meat is properly soft, because I love soft meat. As you can see, there's very little or no water in the pot, and that's just how I want it to be. After cooking my meat, I'm just going to set it aside, and then in another pot, I'm going to be adding my palm oil to the pot. Allow to heat up for about a minute. Then I'll be adding the rest of my onions. I also know that some people don't like adding onions to their okra soup, but me, I prefer it, or I like it, so that's what I'm doing. If you don't like it, you can skip it. Also, let me state that if you have Ugwu or locust beans, you can also add it. So after frying my onions for a bit, about a minute or two, I'm going to add my blended pepper mix. Stir that and allow to cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then I'll be adding my meat and my ponmon. The reason I'm adding my meat and my ponmon now is because I just want it to soak a little bit of the sauce before any other thing, and also we are trying to preserve the quality of the okra. I'm going to add every other thing into this pot and then I'll be stirring. Let me also note that I am cooking on medium heat. You don't have to cook on high heat. You also don't have to cook on low heat, just medium. I'm just going to stir that for a bit and allow to sit or to cook for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'm going to be adding some bit of salt and then I'll be stirring again. I am not adding seasoning cube to this because the meat already has quite a bit of seasoning in it and I'm just trying to be careful. After stirring and allow to sit for about 2 minutes, I'm going to now add my blended okra. Guys, look at this sliminess. Look at this gorgeous. Anyways, back to the recipe. I am just going to stir this properly, making sure that it's well incorporated, making sure that the okra is actually getting everywhere and there are no lumps anywhere. I'm just going to stir that properly. After stirring the blended okra properly, I'm going to be adding my shrimp and also be adding my chopped okra. Guys, you have to be very fast with this. You do not want your okra to lose its quality. And then I am just going to stir this properly. While we're here, guys, please, if you've made it this far, do not forget to leave a comment on the video. Do not forget to like the video. Also, you see that red button on the right hand side, please just subscribe to the channel. Subscription is free, you don't have to do anything, please. And also turn on your post notifications for when I post videos. So after stirring, I realized that I needed a little bit of water. You do not have to add water if you don't want it. I just wanted a little bit. I just added water, and I'm adding my crayfish, my grounded crayfish. And the reason I'm adding the crayfish last is because I want a little bit of the crayfish fragrance or the flavor to linger in the soup. So I'm just going to stir that properly. This shouldn't take more than 2 minutes because you do not want your okra to lose its quality. After that, I am going to be adding my Ugwu. You can also use uziza leaf if you prefer it, but I'm using Ugwu in this recipe. I'm just going to add that, and then I will stir, and this is how you make your authentic okra soup. God, look at all this sliminess, look at all the obstacles everywhere. This is how I like to eat my okra soup. So this is it. You can follow the recipe, the full details and everything is going to be in the description box, so just check that out, and then I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.